All right, our second out of order resolution is a resolution honoring Denise Brucker. So I'm going to ask Ms. Perazzo to come up and take the chair here while I come down to present that resolution. Well, as I think everyone knows, Mrs. Brucker has decided to move out of the city and move to Niskayuna, and tonight is her last meeting with us. Oh, good, okay.
I did. And I know there's some real estate people here, so it's make a deal. My husband will kill me. Is he here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Never mind.
And anyways, Denise and I have put a lot of years in on this council, and so I would like to read the resolution.
You have the floor.
Whereas Denise Brucker was born in the city of Schenectady and has lived here her entire life, and whereas her commitment to public service is reflected in career choices that include Schenectady County Job Training Agency, Schenectady County District Attorney's Office, Rockefeller College, Schenectady Municipal Housing, and currently Schenectady County Community College, where she's the administrator of the Trade Act Adjustment Community College Grant. And whereas Ms. Brucker was first elected to the Schenectady City Council in 1997, and in recognition of her leadership ability was elected as council president in 2001 and in 2012. And whereas her passion for public safety has been demonstrated through her membership on the Public Safety Committee during her entire tenure with the City Council, and her serving as chair of that committee for 7 years. And whereas her zeal to improve the standard of living in our community through meaningful employment has driven her to work in the areas of professional development and workforce development. And whereas Ms. Brucker's desire to improve the standard of living in our community is further evidenced by her membership on the regional board of the Continuing Education Association of New York, her co-chairing of the New York State Department of Labor Healthcare Workforce Development Subcommittee, and as former chair of the Schenectady Industrial Development Agency. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council and the Mayor pause in their deliberations to thank Denise Brucker for her tireless service to the Schenectady community, to honor her for her dedication, and to wish her the best in the future. Madam Chair, I move the adoption of the resolution.
The resolution's been moved. Do I have a second? Mr. Erickson, all those in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Actually, before I let you speak, we also have a plaque to present to Denise, presented to Denise Brucker, Schenectady City Council, 1998 to 2005, 2007 to 2014, in recognition of 14 years of exemplary service on the Schenectady City Council, with a quote from Teddy Roosevelt: "Far and away, the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing."
Thank you. I'm using the podium since it's my last night, and Gary so nicely invited all these people here for me tonight, so it's great. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. As Peggy said, I started my career here in 1997, took office in 1998. And that was with the help of friends and family and many dedicated volunteers. I'm very, very proud to have been a part of the ongoing redevelopment and really recreation of the city of Schenectady, and brought to us by city staff, administration, volunteers, and the work of an entire city council. And certainly, as I heard the mayor state of the city tonight, I also have to add, certainly with Metroplex, but certainly with the business people who came to Schenectady, who believed in the city of Schenectady and invested in themselves personally as well as financially. I can't thank you enough. In 1997 or 1998, when I took office, downtown Schenectady and other businesses within the city of Schenectady, it looked a lot different than it does right now. The movement of TransFinder, the Paul Mitchell School has made, and many of the other businesses and restaurants have certainly brought the city of Schenectady alive. And I'm so happy when I see people who have moved to different places and come back and go, wow, you know, Denise, I was down in Schenectady the other night and the streets were crowded. You know, there's people down there, there's restaurants. And so none of it could be done by one city council member, by a city council, by administration, but certainly as a unit, as a team, which I see all of you being part of, and I really thank you very much for that. You make us all look good. I'd also like to say I've had the privilege to serve with many dedicated public servants, and some of them are here tonight, some of them aren't, but Frank Marizio that I served with on the council, Tom Della Sala, Mike Petta, Ed Kozier, certainly Barbara Blanchard and Judge Blanchfield. The past city clerks, Carolyn Friello and Eileen Versace, and certainly our present city clerk, Chuck Thorne, and deputy clerk, Chad Putnam. You make our job all a lot easier. I know sometimes we drive you crazy, but that's part of the job. One of the most important lessons I learned, because people had asked me when I was leaving, oh, you know, tell me about your accomplishments. What have you done? What are the things that you have accomplished? And at the risk of sounding overly humble, which people who know me know that I'm probably not, I think it comes from teamwork. It truly does. I've had a lot of time to reflect on this. We closed on our house back in August and weren't able to move into it until 2 weeks ago. But during that time, you know, you start to think about, well, I'm going to have to say something at the end, and what am I going to say, and what have I accomplished? And I think it all comes from being, as I said, being part of a team, being able to work with other people who may not share the same ideas you do, and really trying to figure out what is the best idea. Is it my idea? Is it your idea? How do we figure out? How do we come to consensus? The consensus part is usually the most difficult, or sometimes knowing the right thing is also the most difficult thing to do, or the most difficult thing to come to a conclusion with. I would like to think that my many years on the City Council have taught me that at least my strength is in building and maintaining relationships. And in order to do that, many times you do reach across the aisle, and you do reach out to people that maybe whose ideas in the first start weren't your ideas, but were able to come to a consensus or have someone convince you differently. And I think you become much strongly convinced when that's the case. In terms of support from other people within the city of Schenectady, or supporters of really this entire city of Schenectady, certainly many people who know me know that my father was a city fireman for many, many years in the city of Schenectady. So certainly my support of the Schenectady Fire Department has been ongoing, but I have to tell you, it was an easy lift. They are one of the most professional departments, not just in our state, not just in our city, but I would really go so far as to say in our nation, and I'm sure there's many people beyond me that would back me up on that. Their dedication to the residents, to the city of Schenectady, and to the entire city is demonstrated on a daily basis. You know, another gem in our public safety are the dispatchers of the city of Schenectady. They're on the front lines of some of the worst calls anyone could ever receive. They hear about accidents, they hear about deaths, they hear about tragedies of the city first, and have to maintain a calm demeanor and get individuals the help and the assistance they need. Which brings me to our police department. Our Schenectady Police Department has come a very long way from the days of indictments and oversights by the Department of Justice. Under the leadership of Commissioner Bennett, Chief Kilcullen, the assistant chiefs, and certainly those patrol people, the boots on the ground, we say thank you to, because the level of professionalism and the lack of complaints and lawsuits that we see coming through us at the City Council has certainly been a significant change, and we thank you for that. The entire city staff, the ones that pick up our garbage, the ones that plow our streets, in the middle of the night, they're out there with water breaks and much more things that we never hear about because it's their job and they do it well. And if it's one thing I've learned while I was in public service is that usually you don't hear about the jobs that are being done well. You usually hear about when someone doesn't do a job well, and that spends a couple days in the paper. So when you do a good job, many times you don't get recognized for it, and I certainly want to recognize the entire city staff. When you walk into this building at night and you see how beautiful it is, it doesn't happen on its own. Our maintenance staff are fantastic. I can't say enough about the dedication of the staff in the city of Schenectady. And lastly, our neighborhood organizations. They are the bedrock of our community. These unpaid, devoted workers have transformed many of their neighborhoods and contributed greatly to our community. One shining example, and one very near and dear to my heart because it's where my family and I spent many summers, is up in the Woodlawn Park. This park was abandoned for many years, leaving a swimming pool full of garbage and looking like a disaster waiting to happen. But with the commitment of neighbors, this once eyesore has been transformed into a beautiful park and serves as a site where many of our community heroes, our other community volunteers that have passed on, have also been honored. Many things happening in Bellevue, in Mount Pleasant, the North Side, Upper Union Street, Hill and Vale neighborhoods, and all the neighborhoods throughout the city of Schenectady. They've all done a wonderful job to try to bring up the city to the place where it needs to be. Most importantly, though, I want to thank my family, my friends, and most importantly, my husband, Cliff, love you dearly, for the ability to do my job as a council member and for the support that you've all given me so far. I wish my council members the very best, and I look forward to seeing the city continue to move in a positive direction. Mr. Mayor, where are you? There, you're over there. And I thank you for all the support and friendship you've given me over the years. So with that, I say goodbye, good luck to everyone, and thank you for listening.
Mr. Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Denise, I wasn't quite sure what to give you, just a reminder of your years of service, but I thought the most appropriate thing would be the key to the city, in case you ever change your mind and need to get back in. Yes, it does. But just for her commitment to public service is legendary, long, and impressive. She is renowned for her loyalty, tenacity, and independence, and determination to fight for her conviction and passions. The consistency applies as a common sense and compassionate attitude to everything she fights for, no matter how unpopular it was. The city of Schenectady would like to thank Denise Brucker for a multitude of exemplary years of service, and I'm proud to present to you the key to the city on this 13th day of January.